ABC, it's me, Roger, back with another video. Cheers to you all. It's Monday night. Chilling out with a Dos Perros ale from Yazoo Brewing Company. It's a local Nashville brewery. They call it an ale. It's more like a porter. Hints of chocolate. It's nice. In the background, listening to this, Chris Davis, Massive Threads. This is on Thirsty Year, Matthew Shipp's Blue Series. I collect the Blue Series. I have almost all of them. They're almost all CD only. This came out last month. I just recently picked it up. And I was so blown away by it that I had to write about it on my blog this weekend. She's an amazing pianist. I don't know if you can hear, but on this first track she's doing something that reminds me a little bit about what Donna Mitty was doing. Repetitive rhythms, sort of informed by electronica and African music. Very disciplined and controlled, and just really remarkable musicianship. She has a cover on here of Thelonious Monk's Evidence that is just sublime. So I wrote on my blog, it's like Thelonious Monk recomposed as by Morton Feldman. If you can dig that, you will love this. Definitely one of the best records of the year. Thirsty has really been hitting it out of the ballpark. So, yeah, wanted to show you some stuff. Got some stuff in the mail. I don't know if you guys know about the Oxford American. Great magazine. I've subscribed since almost the very beginning. Ad for Third Man on the back here. But yeah, Oxford American. Every year they do the Southern Music issue, which includes a CD. This year they focus on the music of Tennessee. And gotta love that cover, right? So I wanted to show this because it's on the newsstands now. And Oxford American is all about good writing, lots of fiction usually, and but just great. And their annual music issue is always just fantastic, and this is no exception. And you know, the CD, you know, this is worth the price of the subscription alone. Everything else is a bonus. Some great stuff on the CD. You know, it's not all country music, although there's a lot of that, you know, but, you know, Kim Dixon and Ann Peebles, big stars on here. And then really nice, you know, liner notes for it in here, along with a ton of great articles about music. Fantastic. Totally worth seeking out, I think. And subscribing, because it's a worthy endeavor what they're doing. They disappeared for a few years. You know, went out of business, ran out of funding, whatever, and then a few years later, all of a sudden, I got an issue of Oxford American in my mailbox. You know, it's like they remembered I had subscribed and they hadn't fulfilled all my issues, and so here it was back again. And so, you know, I'm a subscriber, and if only for the music issue, because it's, like I said, it's worth the price alone. Another thing that came in the mail. Yes, it's another Robert Pollard record. Blazing Gentleman. It's another, you know, him and Todd Tobias. Because Pollard does these demos on his boombox, sends them to Todd Tobias, who fleshes out the arrangements, and then Pollard comes in later and sings his parts. What can I say? I'm a huge fan. I think this is a strong record. I think just about everything he's done this year, which is maybe probably at least 6 or 8 records, have all been great. Hard to keep up. I listened to this twice. Hard to say when I'm going to get back to it, but I'm super glad to have it. One other thing came in the mail. I am, as you can see, a deadhead. Ordered this from GDP. This is a live acoustic set from Family Dog in San Francisco, April 18th, 1970. Built under Mickey Hart's name, I guess, because they were starting to get pretty big then. And Bobby Ace hit his cards from the bottom of the deck. Those pranksters. So yeah, this is an acoustic set from 1970. Apparently from a stash of Jerry Garcia's tapes that Mountain Girl found. They're a little rough, recorded by Bear, by Owsley. But as it goes along, the sound cleans up, the performance gets better. What's really interesting about this is it ends with an extended set by Pigpen solo. Just him and the guitar. And it's really good. Pigpen didn't really get his due as a performer, kind of a shouter and a raver. But yeah, just him alone with the guitar is pretty powerful stuff. Vinyl version of this came out on Black Friday. I missed out on it. I might seek it out some other time. I don't know. Speaking of Black Friday, I just couldn't get it up to go early and wait in line. And there were some things that were pretty interesting that I didn't get. Like the Bob Dylan side tracks LP looked pretty cool. At least Scratch Perry Super 8 reissue looks really cool. Some other stuff, but I just couldn't do it. But my nephew and I decided we were not going to go up to Louisville for the record show. I set aside some money for that, and so we decided to go to Black Friday at Grimey's, but later in the day when it wasn't such a madhouse. And yeah, it was picked over. I only got a couple of record store day, releases. So what? Kind of Blue is gone, not surprisingly, but this was still there. Jazz track. This is side A is the soundtrack to Escalator Over the Hill. It's a French movie. Beautiful, dreamy stuff. Side B is a session, contemporaneous session. This is mono, numbered. I've had this on CD forever. Really psyched to have this. And then the other thing, we still have a few copies of this. The Brisky Point soundtrack. It's on Water Tower Music. I never had this. It's been issued and reissued a number of times. It's got, Pink Floyd, The Grateful Dead, some Jerry Garcia solo guitar stuff. It's kind of interesting. A John Fahey track. This is a 2 LP version with a bonus disc of a whole side of Jerry noodling around, and then the last side some Pink Floyd outtakes. Honestly, this is not great. It's not a great movie. It's not great music, but it's cool to have. I never got it, and I'm a huge Deadhead, whatever, and I should have had this for a long time. So I was psyched to see it. Sounds great, really nice, quiet, depressing. Musically, Cheers. So yeah, since we weren't going to go to the big record show in Louisville, thought we'd, do a little digging around Grammys. So I'm looking around and I find this in the bins and I can't even believe it. Goblin's 2013 tour EP. A bunch of folks in the VC have been showing this. They're on tour. From what I understand, this is really limited. This is on Death Waltz recordings out of the UK. They usually do soundtrack stuff, soundtrack reissues. I was shocked to see it. And so of course I had to grab it. It's on a red vinyl. And I'm not all that familiar with Goblin. This is my first Goblin vinyl. Normally I would not go for some aged band remaking their classic tracks, but in this case it really works. Man, it's killer. Great. So psyched to find that. And so there were some other things that had been out for a while that I kept looking at and wanted, but had a hard time justifying the cost. Thought, well, hell. Didn't go to the record show, so. Grateful Dead, One from the Vault. This was only ever issued officially on vinyl in Europe when the CD came out in like 1990. This is their complete show from August 13th, 1975, in front of an invited audience, the Great American Music Hall in San Francisco. One of only 3 performances in 1975. They were ostensibly retired, but were making Blues for Allah, so they play all of Blues for Allah on here, and some other stuff, and it's great. It's great stuff. I used to have the original bootleg of the FM broadcast. It's called Make Believe Ballroom. Boy, I wish I still had that. It was incomplete. This is complete. 3 LPs. But $60, really? Someone Light in the Attic, who normally, doesn't charge a premium. I have to assume it's the Dead. It's kind of simple, triple gatefold packaging, but sounds killer. Yeah, I mean, this is great. Great example of what the Dead were about. Picked up the single by Yolo Tango. This is like the 4th single from their latest album. It's great, super Kiwi on the A side, and then great back cover variation of the Fade LP. And then there's a Beach Boys cover on the other side. Can't remember the title, sorry. This is apparently super limited, and I love Yolo Tango. I've loved them since the 80s, and their new album is awesome. And this is awesome. This is great little single. Another record that has been out for a while, has been shown in the BC, really wanted it, had it digitally, just couldn't justify the asking price. But, like I said, put some money aside, so what the hell? The new My Bloody Valentine record. Single LP. With a CD, now that's nice to have the CD. Nice gatefold, kind of silkscreen cover. $40, really? Yeah, it's imported from the UK. Interesting how the LP goes in that side. Yeah, that's a nice gatefold. There's the CD there. Yeah. I don't know. I have the rubber valve vinyl, and I felt like I had to join them, because really this is great. I don't think anybody expected it to be as good as it was. In fact, I think most people who knew about My Bloody Valentine, thought it would never ever happen. And then all of a sudden here it is, and it's way better than you should ever hope. And yeah, expensive, but I gotta say the vinyl sounds great. Really, really nice. Really happy to have this. despite the cost. Also picked up some recent reissues that I'm super glad have been reissued because they've been on my want list forever. Very hard to find originals. This is Gastro Del Sol's 1994 EP Mirror Repair. This is on Drag City. I have all their other vinyl. Did not have this. Had it on CD. I just love these guys. Jim O'Rourke and David Grubbs. Hard to describe. Post-rock, I guess. Some folky influences. Just great. So happy to have this on vinyl. These Drag City reissues are as limited as the originals, so I'd pick this up if you're interested. Another really welcome reissue. Conference of the Birds. This originally came out in 2006. I really like what these guys are doing. Kind of similar to Earth, but in a more like spiritual direction with Middle Eastern overtones. I love their latest record, Vedic Songs. I think they're a band that just gets better and better. So yeah, this has been out of print forever. Super happy to have this on vinyl. Sounds great. Really cool. And so, of course, had to dig around the used bins. And, there was a lot of really great stuff that I had to leave behind. I mean, someone selling cool stuff to Grimies, probably to fun Christmas presents. Great piano player. And yeah, it's Christmas time. Money's tight. I wish I could have just bought them all because there's some really cool stuff. It was just like VC stuff that people would go crazy over. I picked up a few things though. Stockhouse, Possession on Candide from 1968, I think. Turn this down a little bit. You just don't see Stockhouse records out in the wild very often. And this is clean, includes the insert, plays beautifully. This is great. Piece for tam-tam, percussion instrument, viola, electronium, piano, filters and potentiometers, played by Stockhouse himself. Classic. Super happy to find this. There were a bunch of free jazz, spiritual jazz, funky soul stuff, super obscure. Really, I just learned them all. I did, but they were expensive, and Grimies prices things fairly. So, for instance, there's that Juju record that people have been showing maybe a reissue of. There's an original, super clean. But they wanted $50 for it, and I gotta draw the line, right? And maybe I was stupid. Maybe I shouldn't have gotten some of these new reissues. I should have, if I was really the fanatical record collector, I'd be focusing on those rare things and, not this mass-produced stuff. But there's one that I couldn't pass up. Cecil McBee's Mutima on Strata East, which is a great label. This is just so, again, super clean, almost mint, a little bit of wear on the back cover. Vinyl is super nice. Great spiritual jazz with, just great lineup. Cecil McBee, Jimmy Hobbs, Najee Allen Gumbs, Dee Dee Bridgewater sings on a track, George Adams, Cecil McBee Jr. on electric bass on one track, and who else? Billy Hart, Art Webb, a bunch of drums. Killer. This has been reissued recently in kind of a maybe not totally official way. Wow, this is a killer piano playing, right? This is OG, super clean. Yeah. I couldn't let it sit. Robert Wyatt's Rock Bottom. This is a record that Sam Bird, the drummer, my longtime friend, collaborator, he's a huge Robert Wyatt fan, and he made a list of essential albums that I needed to find, and this was one of them. This is an Italian reissue, or issue. It has that folded over corner that apparently they did to some UK. So it's got a Virgin label, but it has this Orizzonte. I don't know. Maybe that's why it wasn't super ridiculously expensive. Clean. Sounds great. What a powerful record. It's from 1974. Yeah, I can't even really talk about it. It's just has a lot of like Henry Cow people and Ivor Cutler, Fred Frith, Michael Oldfield's on it, Richard Sinclair. I mean, all those folks. It's just. I listened to it twice, and I need to listen to it a lot more. And it's the kind of record that I probably will listen to for the rest of my life and continue to get things out of. Might search out a original UK. Gong You. This is a British pressing on Virgin. Super mint. Wasn't super expensive. You see this stuff at like record shows and stuff. They want crazy money. This is from 74. Crazy French prog. You know, a lot of you folks know about this stuff. I never ever see this kind of stuff in the wild. You know, again, maybe at a record show where they want crazy money. So I had to get it. This was not expensive, and I didn't have it. REM's first EP, Chronic Town, on IRS. This is the first edition, the see-through vinyl. I think I might have used to have this. This is the original IRS sleeve. You know, it looked unplayed, and so, and I don't know, they wanted like $7 or $8 for it or something like that. Well, I brought it home and it was dished as hell. It was completely warped. But hey, I have a vinyl flat, thanks to the VC, thanks to Blake, Words DB71. If it weren't for his video about the vinyl flat, I would have never taken the risk. And that thing has paid for itself already. This thing is totally flat. Since it was unplayable before, it's mint. Score. Now my REM collection is complete up through green or whatever. One last record. John Fahey, Let Go. This is a later Fahey record, sort of, or mid-late, 1984. Varick, division of Rounder Records. As usual, great phony liner notes. There's some bass and percussion on a couple tracks, which is unusual. Otherwise, solo acoustic guitar, sometimes with Terry Robb playing bottleneck guitar. So yeah, he jokes about being a commercial move, having bass and percussion on a couple tracks. I'm a huge fan of John Fahey. Whenever I see his records, I pick them up. There's nothing new going on here, but it's great, minty, nice. That's what I have to show you. For the time being, The Great Escape put out a bunch of jazz records last week. I wasn't able to go the day of, but I went the next day. How could I not? 1,200 jazz records. Went, picked up a few things. I'm not through going through them, so I think I'll make another video when I've finished cleaning them up and listening to them. Got some cool things, but again, I had to leave a bunch behind. Again, a bunch of like super obscure, interesting looking stuff that was a little pricey that I just couldn't take a chance on, but I guess I'm just not, I'm a bad record collector. I got what I knew I would like, and I got what was not crazy expensive. Cheers, VC. I hope you all had a wonderful Thanksgiving. And as we move into the high holidays, Christmas, New Year's, the solstice, I hope you're all staying warm, happy,